Hello, and welcome to Intermittent Fasting for the Win. I'm Mike, your host. Join me as I take you on an exciting journey through the world of intermittent fasting. I'll be talking with fellow fasters and getting their stories, tips, tricks, and more. We'll learn together of their struggles as well as their victories. And now, to today's episode. There's a lot of times I get to ask the question, well, Mike, what is on your reading list or what's in your bookshelf related to fasting? So today we'll address that question after I get a sip of my black coffee. The first thing on my reading list and on my bookshelf was actually the first book that I bought concerning fasting. And that would be this one right here, Fast, Feast, Repeat by Jen Stevens. I've got my copy of it right here, and I've got something bookmarked in it, and I want to read that to you. It's one of my favorite chapters. One of the reasons that it's my favorite chapter is because of my friend Julene Wigan, who got me to the point where I said, this is the way to go. And it's chapter 18 in the book Fast, Feast, Repeat, and it's called Scale Schmale, the ultimate guide to tracking your progress. And this chapter talks about knowledge is power, but also it dives into knowledge can be a thing that will bog you down sometimes. And this whole chapter is about doing the fast start and putting your scale away. For that first 28 days, just put your scale away. Well, let me help you to understand what I have done, that I've taken it a step further, and just like Julene and a lot of other people, I have put my scale away just about completely. I might weigh once every 2 weeks just to see if there's some kind of a drastic change or something. But other than that, I don't. And that's one of the many things I gained from this book. If you do not have Fast, Feast, Repeat, it should be on your bookshelf, or at least Delay, Don't Deny, the second edition. They're both available at Amazon and other booksellers. Matter of fact, Fast, Feast, Repeat, I just looked it up today, and it's got a very good price on it. It's $9.99 at Amazon. Listen, for the amount of information you get, we're talking, let me just make sure I'm right, 339 pages. That's a lot of typing by somebody for just $9.99. If you don't have Fast, Feast, Repeat, or Delay, Don't Deny, or any book by Jen Stevens on your bookshelf, you're missing out. So the next book that I want to talk about is, it'll be the second book that I read, and it's by Jason Fung. And let me get my copy of it. It is The Complete Guide to Fasting. And I've got something highlighted, of course, in this, but listen, there is hardly anything that you could want to know that's not contained within the pages of this book. And right here in chapter 1, let me read this to you that I've got bookmarked. Chapter 1, what is fasting? Mentioning fasting as a treatment for obesity and type 2 diabetes always gets the same eye-rolling response. Starvation, you mean? That's the answer. You're going to starve people. No, that's not it at all. I'm not going to starve people. I'm going to ask them to fast. And he goes on, so much information in this book is so well laid out. And Jason Fung is incredibly smart and incredibly knowledgeable about what he's doing. We're talking 300 pages here of just a wonderful, wonderful book. And while I get another sip of coffee, thank you, so good. I'm going to move on and show you the third book that I read concerning fasting. And I recommend that everybody get this book. Now listen, every one of these books are different. Fast, Feast, Repeat is like, it's informational. You just get so much information from it. The Complete Guide to Fasting is informational, but also it's just chock full of everything from recipes to testimonies of other fasters and how that this lifestyle has affected them. Now, this next book, the third book that I read, The Fasting Highway by Graham Curry. Listen, Graham is a treasure. I've been on his podcast and he interviewed me, and some point in time he's going to swing back around to me and update that podcast. And his book, although it is informational, yes, it is informational, but it is a story, and it's the story of his journey. And it could be just like the story of your journey. I know it's a lot like the story of my journey. And so there's one particular thing in here that sticks out at me, and it's so true. And on page 62 of his book, he says, the subtitle is The Food Snob I Became Through Intermittent Fasting. And he goes on to say, I never thought I'd become a food snob, but here I am, a full-blown food snob, hands in the air admission. It was pretty apparent very early on that I was becoming choosy about what I ate. I go by the mantra that if I'm only eating once a day, it must be good, it has to be window worthy, or it's a waste of a meal day. And I agree with him. I've become somewhat of a food snob. There's tons of things that I will no longer eat because of intermittent fasting. So this is another great book. If you've not read Graham's book, do it. He's got a wonderful podcast. He's got all manner of things. And then moving on, I've got other books on my bookshelf, like a book called Outlive by Peter Attia that was recommended to me by my orthopedic surgeon. And it's a good book. It's not necessarily a fasting book, but he does speak about fasting in it and how fasting can help you with longevity in your life. The last book I want to talk about is near and dear to my heart, and it's my book right here. It's available on Amazon, and it's the story of how fasting saved my life, basically. And in the first chapter, entitled 365, I want to read to you from it. In February of 2024, I had attained the weight of 365 pounds. I use the word attain there with tongue in cheek for the reason that I had done this to myself with no help from anyone. There is no one to blame. I did it solo. Many talking heads on the internet and authors of various books speak about how our food industry has made these foods that make us sick and fat. While that is true, I was the person who shoved all of that food into my mouth. No one force fed me. I do not, even for 1 second, deny the truth of what those other people speak. But allow me to present my side of the case, and the following statement should and probably will fit every person who reads this book. And you will find this to be true once you embark on intermittent fasting. I did not have to eat the things that made me fat. I also did not have to eat as much of the things that made me fat. And I did not have to eat those things around the clock. It's so true. It's so true. I did it to myself. So if you want a copy of my book, it's on Amazon, and I'll have a link in the description of this video. But I wanted to show you one thing before I move on, and that is I came out with an edition of the same book, but it was not finished. But I was asked by several people to write my book down, and I did, and I placed it on Amazon, and it looks like this. Now, if you go to Amazon and you type in intermittent fasting for the win, and this book pops up, don't buy that. That's not the one you want. You want this one, okay? Because that's the latest and the greatest. Then I have another book. Lastly, I said I was going to talk about that one last, but I must have lied. I have another book on Amazon, and it's an intermittent fasting journal. And you can use this journal to track everything for a whole week at a time, whether you're doing ADF or time restricted eating, your meals, everything. And then you'll have 2 blank pages also following each week's section that you can write down anything you want to. And it's a journal. So those are the books that are on my bookshelf. Do I have a need to buy any other book? Oh, one other book I wanted to talk about, and that is The Regain Remedy. Allison wrote a wonderful book about having bariatric surgery and then regaining weight after the surgery. And that happens a lot. It's a common occurrence that people have the bariatric surgery and feel like, okay, well, this is going to be it. I'll be skinny for the rest of my life. But it's not true, because your body will become accustomed to the bariatric surgery, and it will evolve, for the lack of a better word, and you'll start regaining the weight. Well, Allison, like so many others, like my friend Wendy, discovered that after bariatric surgery, you can introduce intermittent fasting, and it will take care of all of those problems of regain and solve a whole bunch of other problems for you too. So Allison's book, The Regain Remedy, is on my bookshelf too. And you might want to get a copy of it if you know somebody that has had bariatric surgery and has struggled with regain. That would be a great resource for them too. And it's available now on Amazon. All of these books are available on Amazon. You just go there, type them in, but I'll put links to them in the description below. So that's what's on my bookshelf. I'm glad you could pop in with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and get a book and read it, because knowledge is power.